beautiful, make it beautiful. Age of new beginnings, make it beautiful.
Come on, that's what we do here.
Make it beautiful, make it beautiful.
Come on, that's what we do here.
Make it beautiful.
Hello, welcome to Age New Beginnings. And I feel incredibly blessed to be in a beautiful vibrational energy such as Shaman Mic McManus.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here, and I certainly can really feel the vibration of the frequency that we generate together.
Yes.
It is quite a synergy.
Beautiful
Very
synergy. Yeah. To understand a modern shaman, which is the essence of who you are.
Correct. That's what I consider myself to be, a present-day shaman, and what that consists of is my idea of seeing that it's about awareness, acceptance, and the presence of consciousness. Because at this time in consciousness, we're being much more aware of who and what we are. We use about 8 to 10% of our brain, which means that about 90% of who you are is unbeknownst to you. Going within and connecting with vibrational frequencies at different levels helps us to simultaneously connect with who and what we are to help us live our purpose.
It magnifies and
Exactly.
it helps you project, tap into the exquisite essence of being able to live in a higher dimensional aspect.
Yes.
It's kind of like living in whether you want to be in 2, 3, or 4th or different dimensions. And we love just being in multi-dimensions at the same time. We want to play with everybody else, but yet we just love to be in a place that's just like an automatic natural high.
Exactly, and
Yeah.
I see that what stops people for the most part
Yeah.
from doing it. It's not like that everybody has the ability to do
Everybody.
it. They're just not aware of it,
Right.
for one. And the other is that they really are somewhat afraid.
That's true.
Because most things that are geared on the earth plane we live in a three-dimensional reality, but we have multi-dimensions. But what we're geared towards is two-dimensional. Like not too long ago, as you consider the lifespan of consciousness on a planet, it's thousands and millions of years old. People have been on it for thousands of years. But yet, what we projected was even 500 years ago is that it's flat.
Yeah.
It's two-dimensional. And how ridiculous that is
And
now.
how
when I say
sad
that,
it is
the
to
earth
live
is
in that
flat,
reality.
And they say, how funny is that?
Yeah.
But that's the way we still think.
Yes.
Movies,
I
the
love
show
that.
that you're watching now, it's all two-dimensional. Computers, two-dimensional. So consciously, we're already geared to going to two-dimensional.
It's like
So
we're
it takes an
trained.
effort.
Yes.
Yes.
So to expand our consciousness and to be able to tap into life in a deeper, fuller way, which is Age in the Beginnings is about, what you do on a regular basis.
Yes.
Right now you're living in Venice, right?
Venice, Florida. Yes.
Yeah. But you're all over the place.
I do travel quite a bit.
Yeah.
I do workshops and give lectures and perform as well. My meditation and motion, which I
Wait to
developed.
experience that. That's amazing.
My origins start from childhood. My father was a professional boxer,
Right.
and I was always looking for attention, so I became an amateur boxer at a pretty high level. And then I went into kickboxing because I have about 55 years in the Kung Fu, martial arts. And over the years of developing and working with the different Native American tribes, I put together what I consider spirit chi, which in spirit in Chinese is, in the Native American realm, is creator, consciousness.
Yes.
And in chi in Chinese is the inner life force. So it's connecting both, spirit chi, and that's what I put together, and I share that and travel around.
And that's your meditation and movement.
Meditation and motion, yes, all movement.
Yes,
That's
right,
basically
right.
what it is.
But it's movement in meditation,
Right.
and it's like I said, while you're doing it, and other people experience it with you, and hopefully they'll be connecting and doing it as well. You're really able to
harness and tap into the energy
Yes.
that's available to her.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because
Very
it's
well
all
put.
energy.
It is all energy. It
We
is.
become aware of that. Like I said, it's the awareness, the acceptance, and the presence of consciousness. And our consciousness.
That's right. That's right. And most shamans, the whole essence is really connecting to the earth, to nature, to the elements, right?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. We're not separate from nature. It's all connected. Dr. Planck, a German physicist, actually he's a quantum physicist. We got down into this quantum physics, the science, to see that it's all at the bottom level, all connected. This is a Canadian goose feather, which represents trusting your heart and opening up to new possibilities. That's one for you. The other one that I just picked up was a duck feather. Duck feather is for soothing the emotions. So she uses this first to soothe the emotions that are unsettled within her, to allow her to go to her heart and open up to new possibilities.
Life is an endless blessing, and being in tune to the blessings and allowing yourself to connect to people and spirits that are in that alignment.
Yes.
So, to being a
And
beautiful,
as we speak, there's a friend of ours coming up to be with us.
how gorgeous is that?
All connected. It's not a separation of people and animals and nature.
Right.
It's all one.
You know, with the dimensional healing you do and the dimensional healing I do, it's really able to, like we were talking about time before, that you're able to experience different times. You're able to understand different things from different perspectives.
Very much so.
So that's the healing aspect of it. That's where you go through that process, that vibrational.
Yes,
Shift.
very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. And to begin with, though, why people have issues with getting to that is because you need to be in the present moment first.
Right. Right.
And most times people are either in the past or in the future.
Right.
And the idea is to be here present, and when you're here, then you can go to the other dimension. Like you said, past life regressions and stuff like that
Yes.
become a thing that you can do on your own
Absolutely.
once you learn about it.
Absolutely. Now you do a healing process
Yes.
as well as I do. But yours is about an hour and 15 minutes.
A session, private
session,
sessions, I
right.
work one-on-one with people.
Right.
And basically what they do, first thing is I want to know, when I get to it, when a client comes to me, I say, well, why are you here? What are you looking for?
Yes. Yes.
And then once usually as they say, I don't know. I said, well, look, you were somewhere else. You came all the way to find me, and you're paying me.
Right.
You must know what you want.
Sure.
And that's the thing, too. When I ask people, what do you want? Most of the times they have
They have
no
no
response
idea.
to it.
They have
And
no
In fact,
idea.
I had a response one time many
Yeah.
years ago.
Right.
I asked the client, I said, what do you want? And tears just started coming down her face, and I was
I get
shocked.
that a lot.
never had
I get that a
response
lot.
like that.
No, that's
And I said, what's going on? She
Yeah.
says, never have I thought of what did I want.
Because it's very easy for me in my profession and my life to be able to put on a smile and, to put on that face and to pretend that everything is okay. But I don't want to pretend anymore. I actually want to feel it from within. I want to be happy. And that's what you gave me.
because we're so often lost in what I have to do next,
Right.
or lost in what this one did to me.
And once I see energetically that they got it, and that is one of my biggest gifts, is being able to see energy fields and patterns, much like a doctor looks at an x-ray. He sees the inner body. I see the energy in the body and see where it's stagnated, relating to the chakras, which are the 7 major energy centers in the body, and that tells me why or what's not happening for them.
What's all?
And then I use a lot of different vibrational healing tools. For example, here's one. This is a rattle that I got that was made for me by a shaman out in the Taos Pueblo tribe in New Mexico. And the vibrational frequency of a rattle will certainly, your body resonates to a different frequency every time they hear different high frequencies. So I use things like that. This is another one I've got out west. This is called a finger harp. And it's just, I don't know if you can hear.
Sure.
And I usually use this in conjunction with doing working the chakras in the back, and also with clients I use a lot of reflexology on the feet, and put this on their feet and do it, and they tell me, oh, I can feel
So they
it
can
in my
feel the
neck
vibration.
or my head.
It's true.
So
It vibrates. That's the alignment.
vibrational
Yes.
frequency, which
Absolutely.
helps the stagnated energy to start moving.
Yes. I
So I
love
use
that.
different. And this I have. This is a Tibetan bell. It's over 100 years old. And a friend of mine who travels to Tibet regularly brought them back, and I got this one. And you can hear you can feel the vibrational frequency in this when you listen. Yeah, it changes the whole energy right where you are, and it vibrates out. And the body resonates to these different frequencies and starts to loosen up what I consider to be the blockages or the stagnated energy in the body, which was created by misunderstandings from past. It's all learned behavior, and in childhood, when we're very impressionable at the ages from 2 to 4, we've been told different things, and we're seeing now at this point that those things are no longer true, because we've evolved to the point we're seeing that. And so what they do, the beliefs we held on to from those times are stopping and impeding the flow of energy throughout the body.
That's the sabotaging. That's the things that we do on a regular basis.
Exactly.
Unconsciously. So you're in Venice Beach now.
Yes.
Yeah, and you had an experience which led you to this incredible shirt that I feel very blessed to have here.
Actually, it's quite a fun story. It was about 2.5 years ago. We were doing on Venice Beach. We were doing a full moon ceremony, and it was a blue moon, which is if anybody doesn't know, a blue moon is when there are 2 full moons in 1 month. The second one is called a blue moon, and we were doing a blue moon ceremony, and a friend of mine who was a tattoo artist drew on the sand Metatron's cube, and I'm in the middle of Metatron's cube. And we did the ceremony, and there was about 40 people that attended the ceremony. And the next day, somebody called me and said, "That's a great picture of you on Facebook."
Right.
And I don't usually spend any time on Facebook, so I looked on and seen that picture. And the minute I saw the picture, I said, "That is a T-shirt."
Yes, it's awesome.
It was so
and
awesome.
share about the saying that you have right here.
Yeah, let it be as it is. Oneness. That's what we're talking about. You know, it's all one. It's that, and I see the struggle we have with that is that, and the main thing is separation.
Yes, I think
It's
that.
the thing that disconnects us from anything.
But that's
and
ego. That's ego.
Right.
Saying that I'm better than this one. It's like when I'm with you, I feel like we vibrate at the same frequency, and I think the more people can be where they want to be if they choose to be there, if they allow themselves to go into living life, experience, not just to really experience life, not just
Right.
how can I say it, be a victim of life.
Right. Well, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Because what most people are doing right now in that realm is they're surviving.
Yes.
We've been in as a species,
survival
we've been
mode.
in survival mode for eons.
Yes.
World War I, the Depression, World War II, survive. What do you have to do? What do you got to do to find shelter and
Right.
get food?
Right.
Now we're at the point with technology and the way we've come to realize what consciousness is about, expanding it to its full potential, seeing. It's not so much survival mode, it's moving into living mode.
Right.
Which
well,
is totally
different.
dynamic,
Totally
and totally
different.
different
It's
vibrational
living in vibrational consciousness of trust and
Very much
faith.
so.
And I think people can't open their hearts to that because they feel so shut down. Because if I shut everybody down, I won't have to get hurt anymore.
Right.
Which is preventing them from living.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You hit the key word at this point is heart.
Yeah.
Coming from the heart. We seem to, we have more than that. We have 4 vibrational frequencies of bodies in the being. My idea is we have spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical all combined together to experience what we're doing now. It's not, oh, I'm all in my head.
No.
I'm spiritual, I'm
It's
physical, and I'm emotional. And what we're doing now, last year I was at the equinox. I did an equinox ceremony in Sedona with
Wow.
Greg Braden.
Yes.
And what we were doing there was connecting, and he has a team of scientists, quantum physicists and MDs that are working on the thing that they found there are 40,000 receptors in the heart that want to connect with the brain, which will bring us to what you're talking about coming. It's what we've been doing so far is that it's being led by our mind.
Right.
And the mind didn't know that that wasn't what its job is. The mind's job is to let us feel what we experience.
It's
And
that
then-
grounding aspect.
Right.
Instead of living at the higher self frequency,
Right.
It's more of your incarnation at this time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then once you connect with the heart or what you're feeling,
Yeah.
then the mind's job is to allow you to experience that.
Yes.
Instead of like you're saying,
Yes.
oh, I ain't going there no more. I got hurt last time.
Oh, yeah.
To me, that means you didn't go
Perfect.
far enough. And open your heart. You stopped it. Now it's time to trust, like you were
Right,
saying.
right. And there's different ways of doing it, and shamanism is an exquisite way. It's very grounding and connecting and drumming and
Yes.
drinking of the earth and connecting with all the different aspects of it. But another thing I think is important is the breathing aspect of the Kundalini and really centering that chi, that vibrational incredible place.
Right.
But to live from that place.
Very much so.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. That's certainly true. And the aspect, and the many aspects into dealing with that. And it's really not as complex as people think it is when you're talking about, like you're saying, auras or chakras
Right.
or Kundalini energy.
Yeah.
It's the terms we're using to relate to it. But like you said, Ellen, everybody seems to be coming from different aspects pertaining to the audience they can reach.
Yeah.
But it's basically all the same thing. It's all oneness.
It's all oneness.
No matter how you get to it or where you come from. And it's like you said, the big deal now is about trusting and the truth.
And to release the lower vibration of ego.
Very much. Well, actually, I'm seeing now this one. It's not about releasing it. It's about when you're doing this. It's not there no
Well,
more.
then it's self-love.
Right.
It's shifting
Exactly.
one thing that is not of a higher vibration into the most incredible vibration.
Yes.
Yeah,
I certainly concur with that. For sure.
for sure. Oh my gosh. You know what's really fun? We have an incredible retreat that
Yes.
we're going to be doing coming this October. It's going to be in a place where you live, and you're actually in the museum in that place. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of the Herkimer diamond.
Herkimer diamond.
It is a very dimensional, high vibrational stone that I guess the density is why they call it the diamond.
Right. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
very much so. Most crystals on the hardness scale are about 5.5.
Right,
10 being a diamond, a real diamond.
right.
Well, not a real. You know what I'm talking about. The diamonds that they treasure the most. They're all real.
You're the
And
one.
they all have the different vibrational
Yes.
frequencies. Herkimer diamonds, which are a quartz crystal base, but actually have a 7.5 hardness. So you're right, it's much more dense
Yes.
and much more vibrational frequencies that they can reach because of the density.
Now, we're going to be doing this retreat by the mine site, and in other words, by that mountain. So, in other words, when you sleep there, the vibrational energy, even if you were resistant before you got there, by the time you leave, you're a whole different frequency.
Definitely. A life-altering experience.
Totally.
It's a workshop that we're putting together.
Yeah.
That it's going to bring us. We're going to travel up to Herkimer, New York for a few days, and the campgrounds are right across the street from the mines, where we'll go in and teach you how to mine and get you and have your own Herkimer diamonds.
So imagine using different tools, and now everything is intention. So the night before we're going to do the intention, but you're going to use that intention as you're connecting, as you're mining, to find that stone that is, and the shape and the size you're going to be taking out of the earth with love.
Yes, very much so.
Right, because normally the way a vibration is, in a sense, whether you're eating an animal, where their head is at, if they're
Yes.
running in fear,
Oh, yes.
or if you're doing it in a sense where it's not a machine doing it, you're actually excited and drawing in something that's divinely perfect.
It is the most amazing experience, one of the most amazing experiences I've had the first time I went to Herkimer, which was many years ago, on just for a weekend trip.
Right.
And when Herkimer diamonds stopped growing 50 million years ago. So when you find one, they're at least 50 million years in the earth. And to bring it to the first light of day, it's just a feeling I can't even express it, really. It's just, you have to experience it.
Which is, now share a little bit why you're in the museum. Is that's because of your knowledge?
Both my knowledge and like this is a Herkimer diamond here. In fact, I can show you another Herkimer diamonds and what the compositions of them are and how powerful they are. I don't know if you can see the Herkimer diamond. It's a double terminated quartz crystal because they grow from the inside and the size does not determine the power. Right. You could be real. This is actually a pretty good size.
That's a gorgeous size. My God,
yes.
Is that gorgeous?
And they're smaller, larger, but the frequency of them is what enhances
feel it.
the
I
power.
can feel it right from here.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And the clarity of that.
Yes.
Wow.
So when you go up there and you mine it yourself, it's just awesome. And we'll be camping in log cabins right across the street from the mines along the West Canada Creek. And the energy there, just staying there. You don't even want, half the people may not even want to go by them. And I've had people do that, come up there and they say, I don't even need to. Just being in that environment is, like you're saying, so multidimensional.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, both of us leading the group there,
oh my
the
God.
energy level alone there is going to be
off the hook.
So it'll
totally.
be quite an experience.
So you're going to have yin and yang, you're going to have male and female, you're going to have two different frequencies that we're going to bring you up into your divine frequency. Yeah.
Great way of putting it.
Yeah.
Yes. Very much so.
So there's going to be food that's going to be high vibrational. Everything will be provided. And you just come for the ride and the experience. And it's going to be so life-changing, so beautiful. And that time of the year is really October as the...
Full foliage.
Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome in that area.
So beautiful.
Herkimer, New York County, Herkimer, New York, is in the foothills of the Adirondacks.
Yes.
And it is scenically all year round, but especially in the fall, with the foliage and all. It's just awesome, which would be a great time to be there right after the equinox.
Yes.
You know, planetarily, alignment, everything is coming together at that point for us to go there. It's going to be amazing.
I could just see from the first night of the sunrise, actually the sun setting and illumination, and we'll be doing some of your spirit.
Spirit chi.
Yeah, so
right.
Maybe from the essence of the meditational aspect is energetically full body.
Right.
Go into that
exactly.
dimensional vibration of the earth, which is insanely magnified.
On all levels, especially in that area.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll be magical.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say it'll be life-altering experience for anybody that joins us, for sure, on many levels. That night we will build campfires, we'll be doing channeling and readings and all kinds of exciting things. And it's just not something staged, it'll just come together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome.
And the healing is that life-changing aspect. That's whatever was, thank you God and the universe for, but the way you're going to be transformed on the way out, before you go home, you're going to be able to live your life
To its fullest.
oh my God, to the
Yeah.
fullest.
Yeah.
If
Living
you're not
your life's-
happy, your ass
living
needs
your
to be
life's
there.
Purpose. Right.
But there's only limited amount of people we're able to have. So first come, first serve, and the rest, God bless, will experience it next year.
Heck, yes, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. So tell us, now you were talking a little bit earlier about that movement.
The meditation of
Yes,
motion.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And just tell me more, because you went to martial arts, you went to...
Yeah, as I said, I got 53 years in the martial arts. And when you get to all people say, oh, you kung fu. First of all, the term kung fu is certainly misunderstood, like everything else on this plane. Kung fu, people say you think it's fighting. The word kung fu means crafted, gifted. Somebody who's good at what they do. That's why they say kung fu fighting means he's a good fighter. You could be a kung fu cameraman, a kung fu carpenter. Means you're gifted and crafted at what you do. And so kung fu, I started out at an early age after my boxing career to incorporate martial arts and kung fu in the fighting aspects.
Right.
And then once you're into it for a few years, you realize that's not what it's about. That's just to get you into it. Once you're there, you realize it's about learning who and what you are and be in alignment with nature.
Right. So each movement means something.
Each movement certainly means something, and it's
Yeah.
all based on breath and balance. Because reality is, breath is the most important thing that is sustaining life on this planet. You could go without food for about a month.
Right.
You can go without water for about 7 or 8 days. Everybody knows how long can you go without breathing? Minutes.
Yeah, yeah. Breathing can affect how you feel. You could be anxious if you're chest breathing quickly, right?
Shallow breathing.
You can go right into that nervous panic feeling, you know, and it's just learning how to slow it down and go right
Into deep breathing.
yeah,
Yeah,
right
very
in
much so.
right in your
Yes.
energy center.
And if you look at a baby, you know, when you say shallow, like right now we're shallow breathing. We're
Right.
only using about 1/8 of our lung capacity. When you deep breathe, which if you look at a newborn baby, they breathe, their stomach goes out when they inhale, and
Right.
it goes in when they exhale.
Yeah,
And that's normal.
right.
Somewhere about between 18 months to 2 years, we revert to shallow breathing. I don't know what the cause of that is, but going to deep breathing takes you to other dimensions, like you say.
I think that, you know, when you're leaving one place and going to another, sometimes we can interpret things as being a little frightening, even from a young age,
Right, oh
which
sure.
we carry through. And I would believe that would really shift it to that higher breathing aspect, that getting more into the head
Right.
than into the consciousness.
Exactly.
Now that also goes into your universal consciousness, the story and the movie and the thing that you're going to be, that's coming out soon.
Oh yes, we're doing. Yes,
Yes.
we're doing a short movie on like exactly what you're talking about. What normal people what you consider normal. This thing, nothing is normal.
is normal.
But the average person, which
Yes.
is another phrase that doesn't make any sense.
No.
So, and how they go through life, and then showing them just by being aware of what they're doing
Yes.
can change, and they change their vibration just by being aware of what they're doing. And staying grounded, because most times say, what does that mean, grounded? It means put your feet on the grass,
Yeah.
put your feet on the earth.
Taking your
Feel
shoes
it.
off and
that's what we
connecting.
do in the
Yeah.
meditation and motion, is the breathing and connecting with being balanced and being on the earth. Because if you're out of balance, you're out of balance. And this is balance, is you connecting with the earth of being into the oneness.
There is just so much I want to get into talking with you, that I want people to be able to understand. And there was something you were speaking of earlier, that you have a spirit animal, I believe the white.
Oh, my name, actually, my Native American Indian name is White Eagle Soar.
Ah,
And also the Incas tribes.
Yeah.
I studied with an Incan shaman in Peru, and like I said, my name was given to me by Native American Indians here in North America.
well, all I love, and we'll speak with you shortly. Love and blessing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my God.
Blessing.
Yes, absolutely phenomenal. Now, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Through you, here in New York, yes, if you don't mind,
I'd
if
be
they
honored.
contact you,
Yeah.
that would be the best way
That
to
would
get in
be
touch
so
with me.
fabulous. And we're going to set certain days of the month where you're going to be able to book your 1 hour and 15-minute transformational experience. So retreats, one-on-ones, or just watching you and experiencing how to de-stress and center their life with the moment. the
Sounds
movement.
great.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Much
you.
love.
beautiful. Make it beautiful. Age of new beginnings. Make it beautiful.
That's what we do here.
Make it beautiful. Make it beautiful.
That's what we do here.
Make it beautiful.
Welcome back to the Age of New Beginnings. And we're here at the Beach Club Estate, which is on an Indian lake, Lake Ronkonkoma. It has a lot of mystical qualities. And you have some mystical qualities. You wrote Universal Speaks, and you and Eddie, Rocky Rivera, is putting together a beautiful perception of consciousness, a way on how to enlighten younger people.
Yes. We're gathering the kids to get them to believe in themselves, because right now a lot of kids are lost.
So true.
And they don't know how to focus. They don't understand what it is about the big picture that they need to be focusing on. They're looking down on the phone. They got the earplugs in. Some are drinking, some are smoking, and they're lost. So this is going to help them see what they're doing, because even though you're doing it, you might not know it.
Right,
This will actually reflect on what they're seeing and try to push it all into one big room,
right.
so that they understand. Like, I know people that do that, and I know it, I do it all, and hopefully they get the picture and understand that it's time to put everything down and learn about themselves, and
Right.
not stop worrying about who's texting and calling,
Right.
and listen to yourself.
I am so excited to be here with Eddie Rocky Rivera. He's the guy that's putting it all together and creating his magic, so you guys can appreciate the beautiful essence of what Universal Speaks is all about.
Yeah, Universal Speaks is actually a great project that was done by my man Scotty McManus, of course. Had his son, had his dad, and two other young men that were great actors as well. They did awesome. The nice thing I like about this film is
Yes,
it's inspirational.
it is.
It's going to be something that I feel, like Scott said,
Yes.
it's a message that we have to show the kids now these days, because many are taking the wrong paths. Many are not following suit
Mm-hmm.
to like when we were growing up, and we had to listen to our parents, and we had that foundation that kept us going. A lot of these kids, for some reason, they're all going to the left.
Right.
They're not going
They're finding their
where
way.
they should be going.
Getting
Exactly.
distracted, whether it's drugs, whether it's
Exactly.
computers.
And I hate
Mhm.
to say it, but I have to blame a lot of the doctors
Or the meds.
with all these meds.
Yeah, they
I mean,
can't wait to give them pills, right?
Right. The doctors can't wait to give them pills and all that. And then next thing you know, the kid is already like,
They're spaced out. They're not
right,
even
I need it.
right.
I need it. I got to get my
They were
pills.
told that they needed it, so they believe it.
Exactly. And that's why I feel that this film is great, because it's showing somebody that you could tell has that inner thing in him, that he wants to do the right thing.
Yes. We're talking to Scott, or Myson McManus.
Yep. Either one's fine.
Oh, I really adored getting to know what Myson meant.
Yeah.
My son, which is kind of powerful in the essence of not everybody grows up with spirituality.
Nope. Not at all.
Yeah, but you've had a generational spirituality. You had your grandfather, you had your dad,
Yeah.
and even being around you, you can feel the essence of who you are that's completely different from everybody else.
Yeah. I find myself with that scenario a lot in school and everything. I see everyone else following what everyone else is doing, and myself, I try to stay away from what everybody else is doing. I like being different in good ways, not bad ways.
Okay.
And there's good kids, and then there's like the idiots, and the idiots just haven't figured it out yet, like I've been raised with.
Right.
So the kids that are off doing just like the illegal things, they'll figure it out one day. But I was fortunate enough to be growing up with be yourself, and that isn't myself, and I know that.
Now, what is really wild is you were telling me about your grandfather, that every time he sees you, he says something to you. What does he say?
He asks me, what do I want? And the first time he's ever asked me that question, I was confused because I thought he meant as in the moment, what do I want then? And then as he's continued asking me, I realized that not everything is about the moment, it's about what you want in your whole life. And then he told me the number one thing is with your whole life is intent and what you intend on doing with your life. And you need that before you get what you actually want. And I'm thankful for his wiseness and giving it to me, for giving all the knowledge that he has and sharing it with me. I'm very thankful for that.
It is so beautiful to listen to you speak. You're eloquent with what you're projecting, but you're also wiser than your years. You have such a beautiful character, energy, and you were wonderful when you were filming the other day. You really seemed like you got real comfortable in the part.
Yeah, it was so comfortable because I had two of my best friends, Evan and Jake, with me. My dad was the director, and Eddie too. I've been with him for a while now, and my grandpa was in it too. So
Surrounded with love.
surrounded with love and just
Can't beat that.
bunch of care for everybody there, and I could tell that it was just going to be so natural, and we clicked up on it real good because I could relate to the topic. It was just great. I see it what we were talking about, I see it happening every day in school. All the kids that are trying to find out who they are,
Right.
and trying to see things when they're really not.
Right.
They're trying to not even if it's not about like life or death, they're trying to see who they are, but they can't really do that with all the things that they're doing, like the smoking and drinking.
The perspective that you live with a spirituality aspect, it's more than just coping.
Yeah.
It's about being centered, it's about being present, it's about being happy,
Yeah.
being comfortable with who you are, that if something doesn't feel right, allowing yourself to connect with what's out of sync,
Yeah.
and if you're more comfortable with life after death and what that means, then you're not living in fear. And that's another part of spirituality. The modern day shaman. Nick, you presented that really well in The Universe Speaks. And
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And how was that for you to play a role that your son wrote?
Well, to have 3 generations of the McManus family in the movie is awesome.
Yes.
To be able to work with my son, who was the producer, director, and the writer, like you said, and my grandson, who starred in it,
Right.
was quite a memorable opportunity for me, and I'm so proud of the whole project. Everybody included, Rocky and the other 2 young men that are in it. It went quite well.
It sure
And
did.
For people who were doing it for the first time, like the 3 young boys, it was quite professional. Quite professional.
Now, you spend your life getting into spirituality, the shamanism, and now you see your son and your grandson really projecting your passion. How does that feel?
Very excited. I'm very proud, and it stands to show that what I'm experiencing is working, and what my purpose here is for, because the new generation it's the future,
Right.
and we need to teach the new generation what's right, what's the truth is,
Right.
and that's what the film is really based on. It's people finding out who and what they are, and we're just seeming to do that on this conscious level. So I'm quite proud and pleased to be a part of it.
Well, everything that the movie is projecting is everything that The Age of New Beginnings is about. It's about people discovering and living that spirituality, which is something which I love when I'm with you, because we just kind of flow through the dimensions, which not everybody can comprehend that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so, and that's what it's all about. It's seeing that we're at the basic level of consciousness. It's all connected,
It is all connected.
and it's time. The time is now for humanity to see that and experience that. You What do you think you're going to see looking at that phone all the time and drinking beer? And you expect to feel something? Smoking that will just fog your head up because it is phenomenal.
Yeah, most people who live the spirituality realm, they call now we're at the age of the new earth, a higher vibration, and to be able to get into it, understand it, embrace it, live it. And I like where the movie projected, it's when you're living, it's not just living and existing, it's being alive.
Exactly. And
Yes.
that's what we have the opportunity now in consciousness is because before this time now, it has been survival mode.
Yes,
Humans have
true.
been in survival after World War One, World
Right.
War Two, the Depression. It's been survival. Now we have the opportunity to say, let's start living, which is
Yes.
a whole different vibrational frequency, like you said, and it's multi-dimensional, and we're experiencing that now.
Well, for me is I'm still living life right now,
Yes.
and I don't plan on it ending anytime
No,
soon.
Right.
So I've been thinking that maybe when we were doing the film, it brought it more to my eyes about that it's going to happen eventually, and we can't really tell what's going to happen after that. So that's like live in the moment to live for what you want to live for,
Right.
instead of having all these regrets when you pass and you won't be able to do what you wanted to do.
Right.
So I just like the idea of being able to do what you want to do,
Right.
so that way you don't regret anything once it's over.
Beautifully put. And some people grow up, well, they look like they grow up. They don't always grow up. And never discover that.
Yeah.
You know, those are the people that harp on everything that's not working in their life. You know, what this one did and all that other stuff. But listening to how breathtaking you are, you're wonderful.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That just living and being conscious. And what an incredible blessing that you had your dad and your grandpa who they love spirituality.
Yeah, I love it.
Now you had surgery,
Yes.
and the doctor said it was going to take a while for it to heal.
A while, a very long time. And
And your dad
until
had
we
said,
had the actual
uh-huh,
force of his presence
right,
coming forward and bringing his crystals and doing his healings, what he did, made me feel a lot more comfortable. So
So
I was
in other
able
words-
to heal a lot better.
right,
And before I even believed in it, it was working, so there was no denying it.
right.
The crystals weren't just a pretty rock anymore.
No.
Now I realize the vibration and the healing powers from them. And through that, I was able to heal 5 times quicker than I could ever possibly with just the regular doctors.
Right.
And when they saw the progress I made, the doctors just couldn't believe. They had no idea what happened. And we said, well, we do.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, I was sucked in. And then we were actually able to go to Herkimer
Right.
and mine our own crystals.
Now that's Herkimer, New York.
Herkimer County, New York, which
Right.
they are presently putting together a retreat,
An incredible 3-day retreat.
right, which is going to be amazing. Amazing.
You're going to be in a log cabin right where the mines are, right on the Herkimer Mountain, where the stones are.
Yes.
And from what I understand from your dad, these stones have not seen daylight in 50 million years?
50 million years.
Oh my God.
It took for them to evolve to the point that they're at now.
Right.
And they're just inside the rocks waiting for us to go there to crack them open and bring them to the daylight.
So no matter what size is, it has a beautiful vibrational energy.
And then Scotty's dad
Yes.
is basically there maneuvering them
Right.
and telling them, you have to choose that right path. Why are you doing this? You shouldn't be doing that. Why are you doing this? You understand? These are strong points that a lot of people don't follow. And they need to start learning this. And I don't care what anybody says.
Right.
That's what's going on. And I'm very happy
Yeah.
that we really put this project together.
I think it's beautiful.
And it's
the-
going to show a different side
Of what your capabilities
of
are.
what my capabilities
Absolutely.
are and the difference that I've been working
family is also very important to you, and your friends are extended family.
on. Sure.
You know,
Sure.
so it really,
Sure.
you have always been very conscious to stay away from the drinking, the drugs, the different things. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of drugs whatsoever.
And
Unfortunately,
yeah,
I had a lot of that happen in my family
sure.
and things like that. And what people don't understand, it doesn't just change that person's
No,
life,
it affects
but
everybody
it
around them.
affects everybody around them.
Totally.
That's what they don't understand. It affects everybody. You're affected. You know, this one's affected. That family member's affected. You're affected.
Right.
Regardless of how you look at it, you will always be affected.
Understanding that the disease, which is
Mm-hmm.
alcoholism or drugs or whatever your obsession is
Right.
a dis-ease with the system. And
Sure.
with spirituality, it's about understanding it
Mm-hmm.
and experiencing it and healing it.
Right.
And that's what shamans do, holistic healers do, that
Mhm.
we're all different facilitators to help people to get back on the path to living,
Right.
not existing.
Right.
And I'm really excited about the film that you're putting out,
Yeah.
along with Scotty.
Yeah.
It's incredible film. I love that you really put out there about drugs and drinking and how kids are kind of tuning out the world and how you're making them see it of life and death, but it's really starting to live while you're here. Just because you're alive doesn't mean you're really living.
Exactly.
And you're really projecting that, which I think is really wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank
we
you.
wanted to keep
Yeah.
it real.
Yeah,
And there was no better place to keep it real than on Lake Ronkonkoma,
yeah.
where me and my knucklehead friends actually
up.
hung out around
Yeah.
and weren't so good at kids. And we did our thing.
Right.
But you gave us, and thank you very much for the opportunity to film over here.
You got it.
It was amazing. I couldn't thank you enough
Aw.
because it gave it the raw essence of what I wanted to capture.
Yes.
And the way Eddie got it on film was amazing
Right.
because he got exactly what I pictured in my head. And through Mason, my son,
Yes.
and Evan and Jake and my father, I mean, each one of them played a part,
Yes.
but they played really themselves. You know, my father is my spirit guide
Right.
in life,
Yeah.
and he is a shaman.
He's an example. He's fabulous. Yeah.
And everything the kids did reflected what kids are doing today.
Totally.
So everything we did was real. There wasn't real much room for fakeness
No.
at all,
Yeah.
but the idea was to keep it real. And I really hope that when you see it, you'll see what a great way Eddie captured it to keep it real.
Where'd he go?
Bro, I have no
He
clue.
disappeared.
Where'd he go? Now that I got your attention, I can share some words of wisdom. If you were to take those earplugs out and the hoodie off, you'll be able to go into the silence, because in the silence is when you hear the most.
It was beautiful what you were wearing. You were wearing this white, mystical looking piece. And I don't want to give the whole thing away, but it really gave that wonderful, mystical.
I remember years ago there was a couple of high-ranking politicians were putting out the "Say No to Drugs,"
Right.
and then they'd have somebody come up there in the rock world telling the kids "Say no to drugs,"
Right.
and it was so false because they were taking drugs themselves.
Very
And
true.
it doesn't work.
Very
It's
true.
not to do as I say, not as I
Right,
do.
right. Well, they're trying to
It's
get reelected.
It's a learned behavior, right? But it's all learned behavior.
Yeah.
So if I'm living that,
Right.
I don't have to force it or push it on anybody.
Right.
They can feel it and
No,
see it
you're a
and
wonderful
emanate it.
example. A
Right.
wonderful example of spirituality and living your truth.
Thank you. I'd like to touch on that a little bit about spirituality, because I find in my travels a lot of people get offended by that and they step back. It frightens them when they say spirituality. And I explain it to them. Spirituality is who and what we are. It's discovering yourself. It's not about religion.
No,
Religion is man-made. Spirituality is the spirit within.
that's right.
And it's a totally different aspect. And consciousness is starting to realize that and see that and coming to that,
They are.
which is very exciting.
I really see. It's like with what I do, it's not about religion. I never bring up religion. God bless. Be wherever you need to be energetically, but the spirituality, the essence of who you are and how you
Exactly.
live your life and
Yes.
how connected you are and how you choose to experience it.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Totally in alignment with that. Very good. Like you said, we do connect on many dimensions.
Oh, and it was so fun going to Dimensions with the healings with you.
Oh.
You did me, I did you. It was a beautiful synergy of dimensional, how can you put it, reality.
Excellent. Yes. Yeah. I certainly experienced the same thing,
Yes,
which is what it's all about.
it really is.
What's going on, guys?
Pretty good,
What's
man.
up, man?
What are you guys doing out here?
Nothing much, just thinking.
Thinking about what?
You know, life, death, the universe.
I don't really know much about life after death, man. I couldn't really tell you. When someone wants me to do something for them, it should also be, not that they very much want me to do it for them, but just how they ask me to do it for them. Like, you're not gonna, if someone's disrespectful to me and still wants me to do something for them, that's not gonna happen, because I believe that you should treat people the way you want to be treated. And I don't care like who the person is. If you're gonna treat me with disrespect, then I'm not gonna do anything for you, and I've always been like that. It's just not who I am. I'm not gonna be forced to do something by someone else if I don't want to do it. That's just who I am. That's what the guys in my life taught me how to be.
Part in it
Right.
was quite a memorable opportunity for me, and I'm so proud of the whole project. Everybody included, Rocky and the other two young men that are in it. It went quite well.
It sure
And
did.
For people who were doing it for the first time, like the three young boys, it was quite professional.
I've been fortunate that even when I started doing the streets, like 10 years ago, which is the funniest thing, because you take your brothers, you take your family, you take everybody and say, okay,
Right.
we're making a movie.
True.
And they're like, what do you mean you're making a movie? Well, we're making a movie.
Right.
And they go, see, but you know, the funny thing is I always said to myself, when I put together the Nice and Nasty Break as a crew, I always used that chemical saying that if I could do it there, why couldn't I do it here?
Of course.
You understand? So I
Yes.
kept going with that mindset. I want to make a film. This is what I'm going to do. And that's what we did. We were fortunate as we were going
Yes.
on. We got all the real different actors that seen what was going on. They were like, listen, I want to be a part
Yes.
of this project. So we were fortunate, of course, to get Angel Salazar,
Yes.
which was Chi-Chi.
Everything is fine. Get to work.
Before I forget, they said they're coming back and they're turning this place upside down.
Shut up! I need time to think. I need time to think. I need time to think. I need time to think.
You understand?
Oh,
Then-
he was fabulous in his role. He was just so.
Then
over
I'm
the
gonna
top.
tell you. I'm gonna tell you another. I'm gonna tell you another
Yeah.
thing that was really funny is that when Frank Correa came to me, Frank Correa was supposed to get killed. He came and he said, "I don't care if you guys kill me or whatever, right?"
Right.
So after I saw the way that he was acting,
Mhm.
I was like, "No, I can't kill you."
Wow.
I said, "No, you have to be a regular." So Scotty comes too.
Right.
And Scotty figured, you know what? I'm going to come in, do whatever I have to do. But if I'm going to get, killed, I don't care. And then I was like, nope, can't kill Scotty either.
No.
Because
It's
what
wonderful.
happens is when you have a chemistry and you got everybody that comes together, and now people are growing a liking to those characters. They're like, oh, I like his image. I like the way he is. I like the way the whole acting ability and everything
Yeah.
is coming. Then we turn around and we get Dan Romano
Yeah.
to play the boss.
Now, let me ask something. How long we know each other?
Forever. Oh, excuse me.
I ever fuck you over?
Absolutely not. But things are not the same anymore. Our wise guys whacking bosses left and right without permission from the families.
It's true.
And now everybody said, you know what? I like the way that the streets is going now. Like we had a lot of great people, don't get me wrong.
course.
A lot of the carjackers were great, even Script.
Racing, man. You gotta be able to dip on the car. If we call you, gotta be there within minutes. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more to this, man. You get shot at, whatever the case is. You think you can handle that?
Who's done a lot in the music business and all that kind of stuff. We had Mikey, all of them.
Yes.
And of course my son, because my son has done a lot
He
with
has.
music and armor.
For you kids Instagramming and talking about the grammar that's open around again. Cause you back in the same line. We just be honest to each other's all. We start treating each other just like brothers.
And everything, but the chemistry of when the streets came together this time around, people are gonna be like, whoa, when they see the director's cut.
You think Raul did it?
Who knows? Could be. I lost all respect for Raul when I found out he was beating his wife.
They're gonna be like, these guys have definitely been working hard.
So Eddie invited me down and came in and I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
And then he said, well, be a part of it. Gun! So I said, okay. So I was originally supposed to be just in like one scene and get shot.
Right.
And then it would be over.
Right.
He said, you know what? I want you part of this and we're going to do something to get you in. And thankfully, so blessed that I was put into the family.
Yeah.
And was part of the cast and the family crew. Because now we're just like one big family.
I love it too.
I have to agree with Lucia. You guys spoil those girls too much.
They sense there's something going on at home. You don't know how many nights I stay up waiting for Tony. He doesn't come home.
Yeah, the actual,
Yeah.
you know,
I
the
do.
feeling on that cast is just
It's
amazing.
so fabulous.
It really is. The tightness and the
Yeah.
love you feel with everybody.
Even though you're a mobster, right?
Yes, I am. Yes,
I'm
I
a mob
am.
wife, but he's a mob.
Go figure.
he's one of the good fellas.
So what's up, honey?
Not much, kiddo.
You gonna do a shower with me?
Let's do it.
All right, I got something special.
You always got something special.
All right, let's see. That's what they say.
I love it.
I don't know about how
So,
good. Naughty fellas.
but we have a lot of fun on
Yeah.
set, and I am so blessed that Rocky offered me that position to get
Yes.
into it.
Yeah.
And got, we did a little bit of that, and then we're doing Streets too.
Right.
And it's just overwhelming how beautiful it's coming together. And I can't
really
wait for the premiere and see how it all comes
And
together.
that's coming up this October.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to that. And I had written the script for The Universe Speaks, and I brought it to Eddie's attention. Eddie said, I'd love to do it with you.
Yeah.
So we got together, we collaborated on it, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without his help. There was no way it could have been ever done without the blessings and helpings of Rocky. He helped me out a lot with it, and I thank him a lot for that, because I really believe a lot of kids are going to get something out of this.
Yeah.
And even anybody, doesn't have to be kids.
It doesn't have to be
Like
kids.
you said, even though
Yeah.
they're older,
Yeah.
doesn't mean they're older.
No. But so
And you
hopefully
know-
when they listen to it, something will click, that they'll
Right.
realize that you're missing out if you're not really looking at the big picture.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's no age limit on learning
No.
or evolving.
Yeah, it's true.
So hopefully, if kids get it when they're young, that's extra gravy on the potatoes. But anybody older than that,
Right.
it's never too late.
Never
you know?
too late to start enjoying
And that's
your
what
life.
we want to send out. You
Yeah.
know? Sure.